Working basic pH problems, it's good to have this little kind of arrow directional to help you out until this just becomes second nature. So for example, if I look, I know that in this first problem I have 2.35 pH. So if I know that pH is 2.35, I can find everything else because basically it tells me 14 minus 2.35. So 14 minus 2.35 is going to tell me what the pOH is. And so the pOH in this case is going to end up being 11.65. So now I'm going to go back up and I'm just going to follow the arrows again. So it tells me to figure out the H plus. I just do 10 to the negative pH. So if I do 10 to the negative 2.35, then that would be my answer. The problem is that's not allowed because I can't have decimal points in my exponent. So you just put in your calculator. Just do 10 caret to the negative 2.35. And I know that the answer is going to be somewhere near to the negative 3 because it's always the next one. Even if it was 2.0001, it's going to go to the next highest number. So that comes out to be, if I put this in my calculator, 4.47 times 10 to the negative 3. And so then the OH, I have some options here. I can either go this way and do 1 times 10 to the minus 14 divided by this number, or I can go in this direction, and I think it's easier just to do 10 again to the caret negative 11.65. Again, I'm not allowed to have that. I know it's going to be something times 10 to the negative 12. I have to plug it in my calculator, and it tells me it's 2.24. If I went the other direction, I'm still going to get that also. So then I know that this answer is 2.24 times 10 to the negative 12. And then I can check really quickly if it asks me, is this an acid or a base? Then I go over here to pH. Always look at pH. And if it's less than 7, then I know it's acidic. If it's greater than 7, then I know it's basic. And it's less than 7, so I know that it's acidic. And again, look at pH to determine whether something is acidic or basic. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the third one down here because now I'm not starting with a pH or a pOH. And so I'm starting actually with the H plus. And so I like to write it in 2.5 times 10 to the minus 5, and that is a molarity. And so now I'm got to go some direction. I could go through and I could divide this into 1 times 10 to the minus 14. But again, I like to avoid that direction. I'm just going to kind of follow it across, and it tells me to take the minus log of this. So I put in my calculator, I minus log 2.5 times 10 to the minus 5. And what that gives me is a 4.6. So I know that my pH now is 4.6. So I know pH. Nope, wrong one. I know pH. I know, because it's less than 7, that it's acidic. And then also, to find pOH, again, I just follow. I'm going to plug that in right there. So 14 minus 4.6 is going to give me a 7.4, excuse me. And then I'm ready to go again, 10 to the negative 7.4. Again, I can't leave it. Don't leave it. Don't be lazy. So I know it's going to be something times 10 to the minus 8. So I put it in my calculator, and I get 3.98. And I forgot up here to make sure I put a molarity. So these guys need to be molarities, okay? pH and pOH don't have numbers. So that's the basics for figuring out pH and pOH. And I'm going to go ahead and just fill in these answers so that you can come back and check them if you did them. And so I know that this is 12.75. Subtract it from 14, 1.25. If I 10 to the negative that, it's going to give me 0.056 molarity for my H plus, and my OH minus is going to be 1.78 times 10 to the negative. It should be 13. Okay, you know, how did I know it was 13? Because this is 12.75, and so it's always the next one up is going to be your exponent. So that's basics, so excuse the pun, for acid and bases of doing pH problems.